Price versus value, supply and demand. The higher the demand, higher the price. Lower the demand, the lower the price. Economics 101. Hey, listen, grab your pencil, grab your paper, get your notepad. Today, it's a teaching moment. Let's go. So if I have not formally introduced myself, my name is Crypto Rock. And let me tell y'all, first of all, I am not a financial advisor, and nothing that I give on here is financial advice. It's about informational purposes, entertainment sometimes, but please make sure you always do your own research. And I am not an economist, okay? But I do practice business. I remember being in college and I wanted to minor in business. Imagine that, I wanted to get a piece of paper to do something that I could have done without a piece of paper. I mean, I major in business every day. Either way, I had to take macro and microeconomics, and I did amazing in both of those, right? Until I got to accounting. Accounting was the weed out class. Not the literal weed, but the other weed. Kind of like what the market is doing today. You know, you weed out the weak hands, and the diamond hands are holding on or they're investing. But in order to understand what is happening in the economy and the market today, you should understand macro and microeconomics. Macro, big, micro, small. Macro, global, your country. Micro, you. Economics in its simplest form is the study of how society allocates scarce resources. So if you ever want to understand how economics work, focus on how a society allocates scarce resources. And what are scarce resources? Scarce resources are things that you don't have a lot of. There are a lot of examples of macro events that causes micro events. What is a macro event? Well, on a global scale, a macro event, which means it affects the world, you're talking about like COVID. That was an example. Climate change is a macro event. War is a macro event. Now, macroeconomics or macro events as it relates to your country. Examples include economic outputs, unemployment rates, inflation, which leads to recession. All these different factors are what are monitored by like the government. Now it's a whole cycle because the macro events influence the micro events. Remember, the micro events are your responses or small businesses' responses, community responses. An example would be something like if you had $100, you had $100 to spend for the week with your family, and you have to decide, how am I going to allocate that $100? How much is going to fuel? How much is going to food? How much is going to invest in? How much is going to charity? You know, those are the type of allocation of resources that we have to decide. Now I'm laying a foundation. You got to stay with me, okay? We're going to get to the bigger picture, but I need you to understand and get a little bit of background knowledge first, okay? Let's go back into it some more. So now as it relates to supply and demand, the micro responses to the macro events. The higher the demand, the higher the price. The lower the demand, the lower the price. So what happens is, as a result of some macro events, consumers make certain decisions as it relates to their spending and what they put their money to. And so when they stop putting their money to certain things, the price goes down. That's just part of the cycle of economics. Opportunity cost represents the potential benefits that an investor or a person or a business misses out on when they choose one option over another. Or when someone chooses to go to college versus starting a business because they don't have the money and the time to do both. So what are the trade-offs? What are you giving up to gain? There's opportunity costs when you're investing. How many times do you stop at Starbucks? Or how many times do you go to Chipotle? I mean, think about that. The opportunity cost would be, instead of spending that money on Starbucks, what, $40, $50 a month, maybe you take that and you invest it in something to where you know you can get a return. So you gave up that Starbucks in return to get something else. Or even the lottery. I promise you, I can't tell you how many times I go to like a convenience store and I see someone dropping like 40, 50 bucks on some scratch-offs, and I don't know if they win, but I would imagine they probably do that like every week. I know some people who spend over $100 a month on lottery tickets. Come on, you probably die in a plane crash before you hit a lotto ticket. But I mean, I would rather put my money in something to where I know I can see a return. So, not financial advice, do you? There's a great article on opportunity cost, comparative advantage, and trade in the link below. And so now we covered this whole thing and we talked about economics and how the economy and how the market and everything responds to these macro events. And so now, as it relates to crypto, we're talking about investing. So now, as a result of these macro events, we have these events in crypto, which triggers a micro response from you. Now, as an investor, when there's blood in the streets, you keep on buying, even if it's your blood. Do you purchase something because of the price, or do you purchase it because of the value? Do you invest in something because of the price, or do you invest in it because of the value? Let's look at the definition of price and value. The worth of something in terms of the amount of other things for which it can be exchanged, or in terms of some medium of exchange, equivalent worth or return in money, material. Worth is the key word. Now let's look at price. Price is the sum or amount of money or its equivalent for which anything is bought or sold. That which must be given, done, or undergone in order to obtain a thing. So price, how does price affect value? How does value affect price? When you're talking about investing, value can be intrinsic. You can hold value in certain things, and certain things can be more valuable to you than it may be to others. For example, I had a hard drive. I had a hard drive that crashed. I think I lost maybe 500 gigs, and in order to get it recovered, I had to pay like between $500 and $1,000, and I was willing to pay that. But someone else probably wouldn't pay that, because what was in that hard drive was valuable to me. And so now when it comes to investing, you don't want to get too emotional, but when you hold an emotional attachment, then that value can sometimes be good, or it may not be good. But at the same time, that emotional attachment can be good because you're purchasing it based on the price for the value of what it can be in the future. It's a little confusing. It's a lot much, but how do you look at it? Do you look at it for price, or do you look at it for value? Let's talk about it. Comment below. Put it in the chat below. Let's know. What are you investing in the bear market as it relates to what it costs and as it relates to what it's worth? Let us know. Thank you for joining your boy today on this Economics 101, Eco 101, covering macro and microeconomics in the market and crypto. Hey, listen, man, it was I know it was long. Maybe you need to watch it again. Make sure you watch it again. Maybe you should, or do your own research. Make sure you look and listen to other people and hear what they have to say. There's no way that you can ever get it all at once. No one is that good. So just watch it again and share it with your friends. And whoever I called out on the lotto tickets or the Starbucks, I'm talking to you. You know you guilty. Go ahead and leave a comment. Go ahead and smash that like button. Go ahead and do all that good stuff, you know. Number one is education is what you need when you're doing anything, but specifically when we're talking about investing in crypto and Web3 and blockchain technology, it's very important that you do your research so you understand everything that you're getting into. Hey, listen, follow us on our social media channels, do all that good stuff. Make sure you share this, save it, subscribe, turn your notifications on. Do all that good stuff. Hey, listen, it's your boy, Crypto Rock. All crip, loyal to none. I'm just trying to get y'all to get out your feelings. I'm just trying to get y'all to get in the game, because I'm in the game. I'm in the game. I'm not sitting on the bench. Get off the bench and get in the game. Get out your feelings and get in the game.